Welcome to Diva On A Mission podcast, where we share snippets of joy to uplift, inspire, and motivate you. I am your host, Eva the Diva, and I will bring you everyday stories and transform them into extraordinary experiences. So, I was contemplating the path I want to take to resolve my problems and to live my best life. And ultimately, I was thinking that the best tool I can have is personal peace. And as I was trying to figure out what that pathway looks like, I came upon a quote, or not a quote, but a scene from American Gods where Anansi, Bilquis, and Thoth are basically analyzing our world today. So I'm going to play that and then we can continue with the discussion.
Egyptians told tales of the sacred book of Thoth, which contains the secrets of the gods and brings misery, pain, and suffering to anyone who reads it.
And grants a bird's eye view to he who writes it. I am old as dirt, and I've seen things as you have. Why do you bring this rage to my doorstep?
You ever notice how traveling makes your mind roll thunder? Like a train moving down the track. Except you don't know where the fuck that mind train is headed. And then all of a sudden, plop, an idea shits in your head. And you think that shit smells good. Peace is a beautiful but shitty idea. Only a guy...
So, yeah, that's the part where, Thoth is talking about, he's all about equanimity, and he has seen so much because his role is to record everyone's deeds in this book and give them their just reward. Bilquis is a god, so she's about being worshipped and, being adored, right? But Anansi is really contemplating the point of all of this. Like, why so much suffering when people are hell-bent on war? But that's where I'm like, but I like, for me, the tool I pick is peace. I feel when I can live in peace with myself, then I am better equipped to deal with all the other chaos. But Anansi talks about peace being a shitty idea. And I understand he is upset. There's all this pointless suffering and brutality, especially put upon all this just misery and pain and suffering upon our people, right? And this, to him, seems like something we can fix by going to war. Because I don't know if you've watched this series, Wednesday goes to war to avenge any wrongdoing that he feels that has happened to him or his people or to his loved ones. And Anansi is asking, if Wednesday can go to war over one dead loved one, why aren't the African gods going to war on behalf of the African people, of all the black people who have endured lifetimes upon lifetimes of suffering? But this is the eternal question I think we all face and are trying to resolve in our lives. So, with that in mind, with peace being a shitty idea, I still want to explore how we get to a point where we are at peace with ourselves, whether we want to live in peace or whether we want to go to war. So what are the pathways to personal peace? Yeah. So I want us to explore this from where we are. Yeah. The pursuit of personal peace and equanimity. For me, equanimity became a true concept when I was doing yoga, because when you're going through your yoga practice, you're you're going into these various poses, and some of them are not only physically difficult, they are mentally difficult. They emotionally tug at you and exhaust you. And that is where you learn the benefit of equanimity, because even though you are striving at this thing, you have to do it from a point of peace within yourself, and peace in the aspect of, I understand my body and its limits, I understand my mind and its limits, and whatever challenge I choose to pursue, I will persevere and I will achieve it, right? But throughout that process, you do not lose yourself. You do not cry or groan or just be emotionally defeated. But you go through it from a balanced point of view in your mind, especially first of all in your mind and then in your body. So that's where I learned to explore the benefits of equanimity. So this longing crosses cultures, generations, and spiritual traditions, right? And while the path to peace is deeply personal, it is not random. So I think of it this way. There is no single checklist for peace, but there's a map. My map is about interconnecting territories where we get to explore, revisit, and deepen over time. So how do you reframe peace? The first thing you have to do is be honest. So begin by telling the truth. Also understand that peace is not a life without storms. It is not bypassing pain. It is not pretending everything is fine. Peace is inner steadiness, the ability to remain rooted even when life is loud. Equanimity, right? That's the grace of staying present with whatever arises without being pulled apart by it. So here's the part that for me, no one told me, right? Peace requires reflection, and reflection often requires trudging through our traumas. Not rushing, not numbing, but walking gently and honestly through what has shaped us. So, pathway 1, inner awareness and mindfulness. So this is your foundation, and this is what is also the ultimate goal, right? You cannot change what you are not aware of. So this pathway is about cultivating a non-judgmental observer within yourself. Mindfulness meditation is the foundation. It's the cornerstone here. It teaches you to anchor in the present moment. Watch your thoughts, emotions, and sensations, whatever comes and whatever goes, without getting swept away by them. Alongside that comes self-inquiry. What am I feeling? What story am I telling myself right now? Is this thought helpful? Is this thought even true? And don't forget your body. Emotions live in your body. So, scan your body for tension. Do you grind your teeth? Do you hold a fist? Do you... what are you doing that shows you have tension? Are you noticing your breath? Feeling your feet on the floor? These simple acts interrupt mental noise and bring you back home. Pathway 2, reframing thoughts and beliefs. Our peace is often disrupted not by events, but by our interpretation of them. This pathway asks us to examine our mental habits. From psychology, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, we learn to notice distorted thinking. Catastrophizing or black and white thinking or personalization, right? Whatever your issue is, whatever your go-to is, look at it, examine your habits. From Stoic philosophy, we learn, the dichotomy of control, focusing on what you can control, your choices, your responses, your judgments, and release what you can't. And perhaps most importantly, we cultivate compassionate self-talk. You have to fight for yourself first before you fight the things that you are going through or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So, talk to yourself kindly, replace that harsh inner critic or retool it to be compassionate with a voice you would use for a dear friend or someone you love. Equanimity grows when your inner world becomes a place of refuge, not attack. Pathway 3, the embodiment pathway. Peace is not just a mindset, it is a body state. The mind and body are one system. Breath work, especially slow, deep breathing with long exhalation, signals safety to the nervous system. So, if you're feeling emotionally triggered, the first thing you can do is deep breathing. Practices like yoga, tai chi, qigong integrate breath, movement, and awareness, helping release stored tension and restore harmony. And nature, because nature has our medicine. Nature heals us. Time in green spaces lowers stress hormones, it quiets rumination, and reminds us that we are part of something vast and alive. A regulated body makes equanimity possible, right? So that's pathway 3. Pathway 4, lifestyle, rhythm, boundaries. My favorite part about this is the rhythm part because I love to dance. And dancing for me does something. It stops the mind from constantly churning at thoughts. And I am forced to be in my body, responding to the music, responding to my instrument, whatever that is. So, equanimity is either supported or undermined by how we live. This pathway, lifestyle, rhythm, and boundaries, invites us to choose rhythm over rigid routine, gentle, sustainable patterns for sleep, nourishment, and work that respect your natural energy cycles. It also asks for digital hygiene, being conscious of how much news, comparison, and noise you allow into your nervous system. And yes, boundaries are important. Learn to say no. Protect your time and emotional energy. This is not selfish, it is self-respect. Creative expression matters here too. Writing, music, gardening, dance. Flow states are portals to peace, right? So find a way of being that works for you. Pathway 5, connection and contribution. Peace is not found in isolation. I know people talk about, oh, now I don't want to go out, I don't want to interact with people, and they think that directly leads to peace. Yes, you can mind your business or be in your own space and still be at war, right? You can be fighting yourself even in isolation. So peace is not found in isolation. We are relational beings. Conscious communication, speaking honestly, listening deeply, not rushing to defend or fix, creates safety in our relationships. So think about gratitude. It helps shift your focus from lack to abundance. And service, acts of kindness, contribution, compassion, they often place our own struggles into perspective and restore meaning. Sometimes peace arrives when we remember we are not alone and that we are not the only ones going through a certain struggle, trauma, So isolation sometimes works against us. Pathway 6, meaning, acceptance, and perspective. This pathway addresses our relationship with life itself. Acceptance, especially of impermanence, that life is constantly changing. So it is central to many wisdom traditions and modern therapies, right? Change, loss, and discomfort are part of the human experience. Resisting this truth creates suffering. Meeting it with openness creates equanimity. Connecting it to something larger than yourself nature, humanity, spirit, values. It gives context beyond personal drama. And living by your values, integrity, compassion, curiosity, creates inner alignment even when the world feels chaotic. Like Anansi said, this is a shitty idea because we are going through all of this to attain personal peace and equanimity so that we can better fight. I know he was trying, he was so mad and incensed at the endless suffering. But I think peace is an idea worth exploring. And I do understand where both Thoth and Anansi were coming from. Because Bilquis asked, what do you want us to do? And no one had a good answer for that. Which is kind of, and it's important to note. So, as I was saying, peace is a shitty idea, and then we need to be okay with the impermanence of life. So, meeting that with openness creates equanimity. Connecting something to something larger than yourself, nature, humanity, spirit, values, it gives context beyond personal drama. And living by your values, integrity, compassion, curiosity, creates inner alignment. Inner alignment even when the world feels chaotic. And I think that's the key part here. How do you have inner alignment even when the world feels chaotic? So, integrate all this into your journey. How do we bring this all together into your life, into my life? Start small. 5 minutes mindful breathing is more powerful than a perfect plan you never begin. So, whatever you're doing, if you're in the shower, 5 minutes of mindful breathing. If you're on the toilet seat, 5 minutes of mindful breathing. If you're in traffic, 5 minutes of mindful breathing. If you're at work dealing with your boss in a meeting, 5 minutes of mindful breathing is more powerful than a perfect plan you never begin. So, release the demand for constant peace and start with 5 minutes. Equanimity includes making space for difficult emotions with kindness. Remember that this is a practice, not perfection. You will lose your center. You will lose your marbles. You will lose your everything. But then 5 minutes of mindful breathing will get you back, right? Don't walk alone. Find teachers, therapists, coaches, community support, your loved one, your hated one, whoever you have with you. Let them walk this journey with you. The ultimate goal is not life without storms. It is inner steadfastness or steadiness. The ability to weather them with grace, resilience, and an open heart. I was listening to someone talk on TikTok. I think it was TikTok. And they were talking about not letting the wounds of life keep you from pursuing what you want. If it's a job, you've been denied 10,001 times, do not give up. Keep pursuing it. Keep improving yourself to attain that thing. Don't let the 10,001 rejections kind of stand in your way. You've been submitting to 10,000 poetry calls and you've gotten a mountain of rejections. Do not stop, right? And that is why I said just posting my work on YouTube and doing this podcast, because it gave a home to the things I want to be good at. I want to be good at public speaking. I want to be good at writing, both stories, novels, poetry. I want to be good at self-reflection and communicating the turmoils of our spirit, of my spirit. So, I put all of that in Diva On A Mission podcast, and I hope I am getting better at it. If I do not achieve anything else, I will at least become good at the things I find meaningful. So, wherever you are on your journey, this is about finding a pathway to weather it with grace, resilience, and an open heart. Wherever you are on your journey, know this: you are not failing. You are practicing. You are becoming. And I am Eva the Diva, and this has been Diva On A Mission podcast. And pursue your peace relentlessly. Because on this podcast episode, your healing is not a side quest, it is the mission, yours and mine. Until next time, follow us on TikTok at DOAM Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diva On A Mission Podcast, or send us an email at doampodcast@gmail.com. Peace.